Hey everybody, and welcome to Sleepyheads Gaming, back with some Nightcall shenanigans. I hope you've been following so far and caught up on the case so far. Let's jump right on into it, because I'm not having the mickey taken out of me by anyone at all at the moment. Am I okay? Okay, so we went to sleep the night previous. We had thrown out a crazy conspiracy theory that the mafia lady got the father of someone who died to murder someone for her in return for her murdering the guy that killed her son. So, we're going to get some more evidence on the other players in the case, the other suspects. We're going to ride around, do some more taxi drives, see what information we can find. But for now, crack on in. So, you open one eye. You find your studio calming. Something special about living in a garret. Like yours is the last place before the sky starts. You get up quickly. And a few minutes later, you're outside of your studio. Night 2. Right, we're doing... Ooh, there's an eyeball over there. What the fuck is that? I can't zoom out. I cannot zoom out. Okay, so we've got petrol stations all around. I'm going to go check this eyeball thing out, because I haven't seen one of those before. And then on the way back, we can hit up that petrol station just to top everything up. And then go... see what that guy is, because that's interesting. You pull up in front of a small cafe. The place seems straight out of the 70s. Well, yeah, a noir murder scene with wine and red cheese? Fuck yes. Can't be more classy than that. You catch sight of Marco just sneaking inside. It's late, but the place is still open. You climb out the cab and follow him in. Bar reeks of smoke. He's banned, of course, but some places let customers do as they please. Red wine and brie cheese. Shut up, you knew what I meant, okay? Although I do like red Leicester. At this time of night, it's either beer or coffee. A man probably about to go clock in is eating a ham sandwich. You smile. The real trip down memory lane. Reminds you of your father. Hey, psst. Look over at Marco and head to his table. You and Marco were old friends until he stole your wife. For a number of reasons that neither one of you feels like getting into, he's owed you one ever since. Un sandwich to jambon! Look at you, man. You look like shit. And you look pretty drunk. He pretends not to have heard. Sit down. Don't want anyone to notice her. He's shaking. Voice is low. He's clearly uncomfortable. Marco's a nervous type. But not tonight. Tonight is different. What are you so worried about? You have no idea what you're getting me into, do you? He downs the glass of cheap red wine on the table in front of him. I'm sticking my butt out for you, man. If anyone finds out, I'm out on my arse. Even worse, they may go after me. And they aren't a bunch of softies over there. They're ruthless, real sharks. His voice takes on a plaintive note. Why the hell do you care if that guy worked at Diamant anyhow, eh? Admit it. You're just doing it to piss me off. Just give me the information. Sure, go ahead, change the subject. He lowers his gaze. Every single time, man. Never fails. Find a job and settle down, then you show up and make a mess of everything. He fiddles with the empty glass. My wine isn't cheap. What a Philistine. I have not been called a Philistine in a very long time. Thank you very much, Kay. Just to point out, everyone on YouTube and in streaming world, my friend Ragamuffin89 does not drink cheap wine anymore. That Gene Breton guy you asked about. Yeah, he worked for Diamond. Jean Breton was the Sandman's first victim. Excuse me, I never have, was her response. Really? Not even once, Kay? Never? Never. I don't know, there's no specific memory I'm getting at. I'm just questioning because it's funny. Actually, no, that's the point. I was about to say I can't really say that, but no, I did. Jaeger. I was always able to tell whether it was proper Jaeger or the fake stuff. He was assigned to the main office, the handyman. He put the furniture together, changed light bulbs, emptied garbage cans. And then they fired him. I got a look at the memo, but it didn't say much about the whens and whys. That's all? He heaves a sigh. No, that's not all. You detect a note of urgency in his voice. He's upset, irritable. That Breton guy of yours was a pyromaniac. Got caught setting fire to some boxes in the parking lot. It wasn't the first time. They fired him on the spot. But come on, what's this all about? How do you know the guy? I'm gonna be honest. Or mysterious. What should we do? To be fair, this guy stole my wife, so I don't want to really be overly friendly with him, and because I can't trust him. The less you know, the better. Yeah, right. It's top secret. He stands up all at once. He stands up all at once. His chair scraping on the floor. His hands shaking. This is the last time, man. Don't ask for help again. The last time. He storms out the cafe, the heavy door banging shut behind him. Mysterious always wins. You sit there a while without moving, and the bar owner nods over at you with a whistle. Hey, buddy. A pal of yours. He didn't pay. Ah, mother. You pay Marco's tab and leave. Cool air sets your mind in motion. So Breton had worked for the Groupe Diamant and he was a pyromaniac. There's no way that's a coincidence. You climb back into your cab, your head still heavy, the hum of the engine brings you round. I've got it! I've got it! Diamant set the building on fire to claim on insurance purposes. Or to make it look like... No, so they set the building... I'm overthinking that. So they set it on fire to claim insurance. First guy's son died. Mr. Leclerc's son dies. He attacks... victim... is it Amelia? Anita. Attacks Anita. And... she doesn't press charges because she strikes a deal with him. And that's when the whole murder for murder's sake comes in. Okay, so you climb back into your cab, your head's still heavy, the hum of the engine brings you round. You've still got a long night ahead of you. Excellent. Okay. Oh, where's the what's his face gone? Oh, there was a weird guy around. I wanted to pick him up, but I went to the cafe instead. Damn it. Right, so let's... That looks like Mr. Leclerc. I may be completely wrong. It may not be him. The jogger runs by your taxi. You're blinded by his reflective clothing. The Plan Saint-Denis, please. Alright. So, the passenger climbs into the cab and slams the door shut behind him. Good evening. Plan Saint-Denis, please. He stops short, visibly sizing you up. You know where it is? You nod yes. Avenue des Magasins Généraux. So, you know the street? Yeah, sure. He looks at you intently. You know all the streets of Paris? His question drips with disbelief. You know his kind well, the sort who'd refer to you as the Arab and not bat an eyelid. Yes, I do, monsieur. Kill him with politeness. He seems hesitant. Well then, let's go. You start the cab. Already started. Your client stares out the window as if hypnotized. You watch him in the rearview mirror. Face is familiar to you. His accent too, no, though you'd never be able to place it. Typical of some rural region, central France perhaps. You take another look. That's it. You've got it. He was a contestant on one of those reality shows where farmers meet women. You'd seen him on the show a few weeks before. You'd watched it from your hospital bed with a distracted eye. Something about it had bothered you. The show was a masquerade, life in the country seen from a very Parisian and cynical perspective. Full of scorn and contempt. Okay then, you figured out who I am. His remark and his accent bring you back to the present. Sorry? You recognize me, right? So you can make fun of me now? Make fun of you? He shrugs. Yeah, like all those other people do out there on their Tweety thing. Tweety? Takes you a second to realise he's talking about social media. Yeah, Tweety. Make fun of you? Yeah, well, go on, have a good laugh. It's free, right? Why shouldn't you? Have a good laugh at my expense. That's all I'm good for, right? His eyes meet yours, his voice faltering. He sighs heavily, then shakes his shoulders. He goes on staring at you for a while and then seems to calm down. Sorry. He shakes his head, obviously moved. His shell is starting to crack. It's a living hell. Imagine what I'm going through. A nightmare. 3 months ago, I was a contestant on that stupid show, Fields of Love. Well, I said yes because my wife's been dead for 25 years. I've been all alone ever since. Just me and cows and udders. He stops and shrugs. The show was aired like a month ago. At first things were fine, friends called, we had a good laugh and all. And then I find out the internet is laughing at me too. Yeah, exactly. He just wanted love and people took the mickey. It's not a very nice thing to do. And the internet is laughing at him. There are those things, I can't remember what they're called. Moms, mams, mims. You know, those pictures that move all by themselves on the damn internet. You have no idea what he's talking about. I'm going to smile at him. So I made myself a Tweety account to go and see what they're saying about me. Calling me a virgin and a Nazi, that I screw my cows too. He looks away as if someone had spoken the words. They practically die laughing. A farmer who... He doesn't want to finish the sentence. So yesterday I said I'd had it. I called my cousin to keep an eye on my farm and I left for Paris. On my way to see those TV jokers right now. 6 months ago they said if there was any problem they'd take care of it. Oh, there is a problem. His anger has subsided somewhat. Face is returning to its normal colour. What's your plan? Hell yes, I have a plan. I'm gonna show up at their office and raise Cain until they listen to me. Really gonna do that? Yeah, that's the plan. Gives an energetic nod of the head. And believe me, they're gonna listen. I may be just a plain old farmer, but nobody's gonna disrespect me. He squares his shoulders as if to fend off the attacks. Get it. His eyes half closed, he practically growls the words. There is a palpable air of sadness about him. At first I told him I didn't want to be on their stupid old show, it wasn't for me. But they insisted. They showed me pictures of the women. He lowers his eyes. And then, well, I said yes. never have said yes. You pull up to the address he gave you. The studio gates are still closed. You park the cab and cut the engine. Is it closed? You nod yes. It doesn't open until 6. You point to a sign posted near the gates and he sighs. But there'll be hardly anyone here before 9 or 10 o'clock. I don't care. I'll wait. He rummages through his pockets and pulls out a wallet. What are you going to ask them? I want them to apologise. On TV, during this show, in front of everyone. Talk about all the things they changed, all the bits of sentences they cut up and put back together. He fixes his gaze on you, his eyes narrow. You know I'm not racist. His voice is low and raspy. Don't believe the show. I didn't mean what I said. I didn't really say that stuff either. Doesn't matter. He fixes his gaze on you, visibly moved. I'm not very good at this. I've been... He chokes up, gesturing with a hand as if to make it all disappear. When he starts up again, he's on the verge of tears. Anyhow, I'll just wait here until it opens. The passenger pays the fare and exits the cab. You watch him for a minute as he starts his vigil in front of the gates. You notice a newspaper on the back seat. The last passenger must have left it behind, or the one before. Grab it and put it away. Could come in handy. Then you start the cab, and it's back to the grind. Hey, we got a €3 tip. Fucking brilliant. Take that. Alright. We got what we got. So the last lady I picked up that looked like that was in trouble. So let's go. What we got over here? That lady there. That lady who looks like she is trouble. That looks like one of our suspects. Interesting. What is? Read the newspaper. You pull a newspaper out of your glove compartment and start leafing through it. Eventually, something grabs your eye. A tiny article in the corner of one page. Ongoing protests in the small South American country of French Guiana that have been paralysing the territory for 2 months. You raise your head. Until now, you'd heard nothing about these protests. Turn the page and stop. You've read about a third of the newspaper. Keep reading. You stop reading and go back a few pages. You thought you saw something. In a short, rather terse article, the journalist explains the 200th American-style coffee house just opened in Paris. She regrets the disappearance of real, authentic bistros. You sigh. You only have a third left to read. Might as well read the whole thing. As soon as you get to the page, you stop. Your instinct tells you to look at. I don't pick all the trouble... Okay, I pick all the troublesome ones. It's an in-depth article about the Albatross, 6 months after the tragedy. It's all very vague and gives no new information. Even more disturbingly, the tone is quite cynical, mean even, when the journalist refers to the tenant associations. You shut the paper. It'll end in the trash tonight. If you remember it's there. Otherwise, it'll spend the rest of its days in your glove compartment. So, more credence to the theory that the lady killed them all, then the daddy got revenge by a murder bargain? I'm gonna have to work on that one. Oh, the is have gone again. Right, let's go pick up sunglasses, lady. Let's get some info on her. Because didn't she works for Diamanta as well, didn't she? A cigarette. You want a cigarette? I mean, no, I want a cigarette. How long have we been going for? Okay, so about 20 minutes into this one. Geraldine Zimmer. I'm off to the 6th arrondissement and my friend to the 17th. You pull up in front of La Pierre, a starred restaurant you've heard a lot about. 2 women are waiting out front, standing a ways apart. The first is one of your suspects. You recognize her face right away. She's connected to the hedge fund that managed the Albatross, the apartment building that burned down. The second woman, you've never seen her before. She's wearing pajamas? She has a dumb smile on her face. They hug each other goodbye in an oddly distant way. The first leans over to your window. Anita, we're going in 2 different directions. Cold, blunt voice. You can tell by her tone she's trying to impress the other woman. I'm going to Saint-Germain and she's going to Étoile, Avenue de la Grande Armée. Both women look at each other. Go ahead. It's better you go first. You might catch cold otherwise. Sure? Completely. Her friend comes over and opens the door. Thanks for tonight. I really needed someone to talk to. Felt good to finally be able to say my thoughts exactly. I'm going to think about your offer and I'll call you, okay? The woman getting in your cab gives you her address. She waves to her friend on the sidewalk. Oh look, her leg's going and everything. She's tap 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 tap. You start driving and glance in the rearview mirror. She's wearing makeup but her hair is a mess. The coat she's wearing is obviously very expensive and covering some kind of polar fleece pajamas? She turns to you with an odd look on her face. Having a good evening? You nod, slightly surprised by her tone. She sounds like she's just won millions playing the lottery. Mostly calm. Ah, it's a pretty quiet neighbourhood. The restaurants around here close late. That helps. He nods slowly. Actually, I was just at Napier. What an incredible restaurant. You know it? I've heard of it. Oh yeah? He seems genuinely interested. We tend to find out about good spots like that. Dropping tourists off or picking them up. Andy. Her smile is starting to make you uncomfortable. Yeah, I was thinking you must meet all sorts of people. All shapes and forms, yes. Must be refreshing, night after night, new faces, new stories. You look like you're in an awfully good mood. Hi. Yes. Her face lights up. Yes, actually. Fabulous evening. Excellent restaurant. Great wine. Not to mention a winning plan. If I won millions. Yeah, if I won millions on the lottery, I wouldn't be calm either. Actually, no. Outwardly, I'd be very calm. On the inside, I'd be spending everything. A plan? Yes, a plan, a scheme, a plot of sorts if you prefer. He leans forward slightly. Tell me, have you ever wanted to take revenge? Her attitude suddenly seems scary. Your blood freezes, and before you can react, she continues. I recommend it. An absolutely incredible sensation. I've never felt so good. He heaves a satisfied sigh. That woman you saw back there? Her name is Anita. A few months ago, she destroyed everything I'd built for myself. When my father passed away 10 years ago, I found myself in charge of his candy business. A tiny shop, a horrendous kitchen. I had to fire half the people on payroll. I poured every cent I had into it, got into organic, local products. 2 years later, I had 7 boutiques in and around Paris, 14 total in France. Les Confiseries du Marais. You heard of them? Not sure. No big deal. Well, it's all me. Knew she was dodgy. Yeah, she seems a bit dodgy so far. Her face clouds over for a second. I mean, it was all me. Since it was such a huge success, we needed to open more and more shops. I looked for investors. Little by little, my tiny business had become huge and I had to add more people to my board, and that's how I met Anita. Her voice reminds you of an Arctic wind. Anita and her investment fund. Sounds like the title of a children's book, but a twisted, unsavoury one. She sighs again, sadly this time. I was fired from my own company 4 months ago. Let her keep talking. All because her eyes wander for a while. All because I didn't want to sell to a big group. I didn't want a franchise. I just wanted to sell really good candy. Succeed in the wake of my father's failure. He looks you straight in the eyes and keeps biting her nails. I made a mistake. When they gave me the boot, I pretended to save face. I pretended it was the best thing for me and my family. More time to spend with my children. Takes a long pause. I lied. He looks away. I felt so ashamed. Like I was less than human. Dirty rag you throw out without a second thought. She snickers. You have a moment about her and one of your suspects. The very next day I was contacted by an association fighting to prevent tax fraud. And she stops talking when she sees the confused expression on your face. It's complicated. I'm a sort of Trojan horse pretending to want to sell my remaining shares to pull them into a trap. Tonight, after hesitating for weeks, she finally took the bait. I feel like a spy dressed like a bum. She points to her pajamas, her boots, her hair. Look on the waiter's face when he saw me. He giggles. I gave Anita an Oscar-winning performance. Told her I wanted to sell what I still had, get the hell out of this shitty country, but that I wanted things to be handled discreetly, without making a fuss, without having to pay out the nose. And she said okay. Asked me to contact her specialist. Burst out laughing. If my plan works, Lex Confessore du Marais will disappear. And you're okay with that? I have no choice. Them or me. Anita and the group Diamant must be stopped. They're involved in all sorts of shady deals. Tax exile, offshore accounts, maybe worse. I'll do everything I can to bring her down, and she waves her hand to put an end to your conversation. She's noticed something down the street. I could use a drink. Actually, I need a drink. She points to a bar, well-lit windows with dark red and green lights inside. Stop here. You pull over and your passenger pays her fare. She slips you a small tip with a smile on her lips. A tip on the lips. Keep doing what you're doing. You're doing good work. Excellent work. Lady said it, I gotta do it. I can't stop the innuendos. She gets quickly out of the cab. The door slams, followed by the same silence that comes after each passenger. I'm gonna watch. You lean over to catch a glimpse of her. Her get-up makes an impression. I got an achievement for spying. Wait. Her get-up makes an impression on some of the people in the bar. He walks straight up to the bar and raises two fingers with the kind of confidence only a regular can have. You sigh. You turn the key in the ignition and start driving. A €1, 20-cent tip. Fantastic, thank you very much. Okay, what we at? So, tell you what, let's hit petrol. If I hit the petrol station there, he's possibly gonna. Right, tell you what, let's go to the petrol station, fill up, and see if. Because so far, anytime I've stopped anywhere, you pull over and stop at a gas station. Not a soul in sight. The fluorescent lights irritate your eyes, and the smell of pee is wafting up from the space in between the pumps. It's self-service here, and you pay directly at the pump. The mini-mart over there. It must sell newspapers. The person behind the counter must see and hear things. Might be worth asking a couple questions. This place is as shady as ever. You're careful getting out of the cab. Oh, right, okay. Gas pump, fill the tank. Oh, I have to hold. That's not too bad. Right, let's go to the shop then. Let's see what's in there. You walk into the mini mart. There's a smell coming off the guy running the shop at this station. Artificial lavender air freshener? Evening. Okay, tell you what, let's... Oh, should we buy a scratch card? Yeah, let's do a scratch card. Lost. Shit. Okay, no go. I've already got the newspaper because I've got someone left it in the cab. Talk with the clerk. You examine the newspaper and magazine covers. The serial killer is on the front page of all of them. It's crazy, isn't it? You'd think they would have caught him by now. Clark smiles. You recognize the twinkle in his eye. This guy has something to tell you. Tell me. Tell me. Oh, he's not going to tell me. I've got to go back to my room. Oh, man. Okay. Good night, I guess. You nod and exit the shop. Alright. Let's leave the gas station. Get into your taxi and drive away. Now, I'm 90% certain. Yep. Okay, there's Santa. I've got to pick Santa up. I just have to. It's the law. It's better be Santa and not a dude with a bandage over his eye, because I am... No, it's Santa. Champs-Élysées, I think. Yeah. Oh, he's going to be off his nut, isn't he? Yeah, your next passenger smells like beer. We've got drunk Santa in the cab! No, it's even worse. It's like every single fibre of his Santa suit has been soaking in a keg. Come on, dash away. His breath is 96 brandy. Reminds me of my dad. Your eyes are starting to sting. He loved brandy. I'm parked somewhere near the Champs-Élysées. On... it. The name of the street is... His head is spinning and he does his best to hang on to the door. Impasse? It'll come back to me. Go ahead and drive. You start driving and silently wonder how to ask your passenger if he has enough money to cover fare. You glance back at your passenger. He's mumbling to himself, but you can't quite make out what he's saying. Christmas is over, so why is he still dressed up? What's the suit for? He turns to look at you wide-eyed. Suit? Well, yeah, the Santa suit. Silence. More silence. Is he so drunk he doesn't realise he's wearing a costume? There's no costume, kid. It's what I wear to work. Just like you know? He points at his clothes. You don't dress like that in real life, do you now? He stares at you and bursts out laughing. I'm messing with you, kid. He lowers his voice. He's confiding in you. After working my arse off all year long, I like to hit my favourite pubs. I get monumentally wasted. Oh, he guffaws. Here in Paris, there are a bunch of bistros perfect for such an occasion. No one talks to you and they have white wine so dry it eats away at the inside of your mouth. And so many different types of brandy, pear brandy, cognac. He closes his eyes in delight. And sometimes I order just one eeny weeny beer. Sounds like our Friday nights back in the day. Yes, it fucking does. To cleanse the palate. Almost whispering. Okay. Usually not one of those fancy microbrews there. Jumps. Oops. But don't tell anyone, okay? Just imagine if people found out Santa Claus here thought the beer tasted like piss. He laughs a sparkling laugh, and when he stops it's just to throw out non-committally. Anyway, you can't say anything anymore. Honestly, with all the trouble I go to, people should just leave me the fuck alone. All those fair weather activists, they still want this little snot-nosed miracles to get the latest stupid toy. Oh hey, speaking of snot-nosed kids, what is it with this manure pile of a new generation, eh? 50 years back you could give a kid a book and he'd go on about his whole life all starry-eyed. Today's little whiners, oh, what an eyesore. Fucking hell. They want to have it all, but they don't like anything. They all have GSMs when they're 8. Those things cost a whole month's wages. How can you possibly make them happy after that? How? He's staring at you, waiting for you to answer. Wooden toys? A trip? I'm gonna go with a trip. Slightly sarcastic. A trip? He bursts out laughing. Now there's a shitty idea. What kid wants to have his ass stuck on a plane for 15 hours? I did, I loved it. I'll tell you what they want. What kids these days want are machine guns and dolls whose hair you can... He seems to have calmed down for a second, but it was just an illusion. Speaking of which, both girls and boys like those dolls whose hair you can fix. He twitches his moustache in silence. Back when I still made for toys for kids, I can tell you they couldn't care less about them. Couldn't give a damn. They just wanted to have fun, play, laugh, and forget their parents were losers. Wow. He leans over to you, ripe with anger. Oh, that's a real problem, I'm telling you. Parents are losers. Idiots. Putting kids into this world, those guys haven't got a clue. Am I right or am I right? I mean, have you seen the state of the ice cap these days? Have you? Huh? Because there's not much of it left. He pauses. Is this like actual real Santa? Because... yeah, that is one pissed off Sandy Claus. La 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 la. Alright, okay, I'll need to stop that now before I get a copyright claim. No, I can't say it's all bad. I don't have as many polar bears coming into my yard. Damn nasty beasts. Vicious, mean. I'm not sad to be rid of them. He heaves a long sigh through his beard. All things were different. Tears form at the corner of his eyes. Shit. I can't talk about the past without crying like a little girl. Nothing wrong with crying, man. Throws you a sideways glance. No need to stare. You don't even have time to react and he starts back into his rant. I remember you, you know. To tell the truth, I remember everyone. Every single person. You were an angry one. Terribly angry. Your letters. Your handwriting. Holy fuck were they held to decipher. Don't worry though. The elves handled all that for me. You could hear a hint of disgust in his voice when he brought up the elves. Otherwise I wouldn't have time to do nothing. Yeah, you were just furious. Like someone punched you in the stomach. Your brother was giving you hell. Someone wrenching your gut. Man, oh. He suddenly thinks of something and stops talking. His gaze wanders outside. Yeah. Anyway, let's talk about something else. Well, if I ask, he's going to tell me he's Santa. And then I have to believe in Santa because Santa's real. On the screen. In front of there. How do you know all that? You still don't get who I am? You stare at him in the rearview mirror. Look, kid. I'm not going to spell it out for you. And something tells me you'd rather avoid the subject. A little something called jail. Another punch to the stomach. So there's your Christmas present. We're not going to talk about it. And he smiles and opens his eyes wide. Wait, I think we're almost there. Slow it down a bit, kid. He searches outside for... What are we looking for? We're looking for my sleigh, kid. What else? He looks at you with pity. It shouldn't be hard to spot. There's the sleigh and a couple half dozen reindeer. He heaves a funny sigh. I'm sure it's like in an alleyway somewhere. Oh, right, over there. Turn right. You obey and go up the street you were on a few seconds before. A few meters down, your passenger stifles a yelp. Oh shit, it was right here. Drive around the block. You turn again. In back, your passenger is mumbling. I'm gonna have to get one of those thingamajigs. GPS. It'd help me find my sleigh more easily. You eventually pull over in an alley. No light, a few empty office buildings, and some trash cans that haven't been emptied for days. Kid. Sorry about before. I didn't mean, you know, bring up any sore points. He pays his fare. Wow, Santa actually paid. What's your back, kid? He gets out and slams the door. He slips on the wet sidewalk and grabs onto a street lamp. With a heavy and awkward step, he clumps along the alley. I'm gonna stay. You sit for a moment, watching him. At the end of the alleyway, he starts rummaging through a pile of boxes, pushes a trash can on wheels aside, and disappears. Stay a bit longer. I want to find out if it's the real Santa. A few minutes go by and nothing. Turn the key and start driving again. You open the window for a second, hoping to get rid of the alcohol fumes. Something tells you they'll stick around for a while. Right. Hey, €4. Righty. Ooh, we've got this guy here. Was there anyone else that looked like one of my suspects? And oh, it's this guy again. Oh, but that's way away. Oh, okay, so it's RT and LT too. Okay, I can't actually. So I'm guessing I'm gonna have to fulfill a certain. Where's my cursor gone? I can't see my cursor. No. Cursor's vanished. Damn it, I can't do anything. Right, okay, well that's actually a good point to end. Right then guys. Like, comment and subscribe if you're enjoying it. Sorry for the minor technical glitch at the end there with the cursor. You know, fingers crossed I'll get it all sorted out for the next video. But if you're enjoying, hit that bell button to get notified when the next videos are all going up. I'm enjoying it. We had Santa Claus, drunk Santa Claus. Was he real? Was he not? We never know, but we can only hope. Thank you all for watching, guys. Be awesome to each other, and I'll see you all next time.